Hi, James Arthur here. I want to talk today about backups. Have you got a backup system in place? You might do loads of work, which is absolutely fantastic, but it could be lost in a flash. Maybe you've got a backup system in place that you're not finding is quite robust enough, or maybe you don't have anything in place at all and you're looking for a simple and safe solution. Well, I'm going to take you through what I do on my system, which has worked for me, and hopefully it will work for you too. So someone said to me a number of years ago, if you don't have your digital data 3 times, you don't have it at all. And I've got to agree with that, because if you have it once, you could very much lose it and that could be gone forever. I'll tell you about one example that happened to me. I'd spent maybe a month or so working on a whole heaps of stuff, and all of a sudden my hard drive failed. Of course, I thought I'd go and check my backup to see if I could just salvage what I'd lost. Turns out I hadn't backed up for about a month, and that was a lot of information that I lost, and it's never coming back. That hard drive is still dead, and I've tried loads of things to try and recover it. It's dead and gone forever, and I'll never get it back. So I vowed from then to never let that happen again, and so far, touch wood, it hasn't. And I'm going to show you what I do. So the 3 places I have my audio are as follows. Number 1 is on the main audio drive, which is the main audio drive that I work on all of my work from, and that'll be everything I'm working on now and everything I've worked upon before. The second place is the first backup, which is a hard backup going to an external hard drive. And then the third one is taking a backup from that first backup to an online based service up in the cloud. And I'm going to take you through each one so you can see what I do. For the first backup, I use a program called Chronosync. Now, there are lots of different backup programs around, and they all do a very, very similar job. I've just found this one to be quite intuitive and just a very successful piece of kit. So you can choose it to automatically back up if you want, or do a manual backup. I tend to do it manually because I'll often just hit backup at various times during the day, especially if I've been working on lots of different things, and I know that it's always going to a separate drive right away. But you can have it automatically back up, so it'll back up at the end of each day or at the end of each week. It depends on how busy you are and how frequently you're needing these backups to happen. For lots of people, it's nice to just have it automatically done because you know it's going somewhere. You don't have to think about it, which is one of the most important things. So specifically with this, I have it, as you can see on the screen, I have the operation chosen as mirror left to right, which means that it's taking everything that you choose from the drive. So in this case, it's my whole audio drive. So it's 4 terabytes worth of stuff. And that is being mirrored to the external drive of my choice. That means that anytime you make a change, anytime you delete or update or add projects, it will be an exact replica of that drive, and it will copy it over to the other drive. Now, of course, if you've deleted stuff and you've decided, oh no, I shouldn't have deleted that, there is a failsafe in here. So you can engage synchronized deletions and then choose where you want that to be. So in this case, I've chosen it to create an archive on my backup drive. And then if we look on that backup drive over here, it will create a little folder at the top called archived items. And these are the ones I've recently deleted, and it doesn't get rid of them right away. It just knows that it's been deleted, and it will leave it there for a bit until you just choose to delete it. Very useful thing to have. As I mentioned before, I just do this manually. So as you can see over here, I've got the two main backups that I do. You can just highlight them and then click backup, and it will do its thing, run away in the background, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about making sure that you've got the right file, not making sure that you're updating the most recent one. It's going to do it all for you. Now, the other good thing about Chronosync is it's not very expensive. I think at the moment it's probably about $30. And with that, you get free updates for life. So if they do new versions, you keep getting the new updates. You don't have to keep paying for a new version of this software. You've got it for life, and it's always ready to go. Next up is the cloud-based backup. Now, why do you need to do this as well? Especially if you've already have your hard drives backing up and they're all connected and they're doing a wonderful job. Well, the problem is, what about if you get a power surge, or it just so happens that both of your hard drives, your main drive and your backup drive, happen to fail on the same day? It's reasonably unlikely, but it does happen, and it will just be our luck that everything will fail, and then you'll have a deadline the next day and you need to be getting back to work right away. I do the cloud-based backup from my original hard backup. Now, the reason I don't do it from my main drive is because this software can be working in the background all the time if you choose it to do so. So although it doesn't really put a strain on your system, to some systems it can, and I don't really want anything that's going to be affecting my main drive. I don't want to have anything that's affecting the performance of that during a session. And with Backblaze, you can choose what it's going to be backing up. So as you can see on here, if you can just about see, I'm basically backing up everything on my system apart from the main drive, because that's already backed up and I'm backing up the backups, like I say. One thing to know is when you do your first backup on Backblaze, it will take a long time, especially if you have 4-6 terabytes worth of information. It's going to take a little while to upload. So in general, something like that can take between 2 and 3 weeks to upload, which sounds like a long time, but actually when it's just working in the background whilst you're just doing all your work as you would usually do, it's not a huge issue. And once you've done the main backup, you can leave it to just be constantly backing up as soon as something changes, or have it back up at the end of every day. That can be quite a handy thing, because then it just backs up overnight when you're not really using your computer anyway. Unless you're a night owl and you're working till 4 a.m, then of course, maybe you can adjust it to your lifestyle. But the good thing about that is it's only uploading a few files each time, so it's not a massive backup like the initial backup was. And something that is really, really great about Backblaze, now it is a subscription-based backup service, but it's only about $6 a month, which it's not very much at all, especially considering the benefits that it gives you. Now, the other added benefit about Backblaze is what I'm about to show you. So you can log into Backblaze at any point and it will show you what it has backed up. So if you have your whole system backed up and you keep it updated, everything's going to be there ready for you to get anytime you need it. So for example, say you've headed off to a session and you've taken all the necessary files that you needed, but then you get to the session and you realize actually you don't have the most updated version, or you need to get just a different song. That's fine. You can log in, you can go and find a song that you need and you can download it. Now, sometimes it will take a few minutes just to prepare the download, especially if it's very big, but 9 times out of 10, if you're just downloading a song or two, it won't take very long at all, and then you can just download it from wherever you are. Really, really handy feature to have, and it's definitely saved me a number of times in many, many sessions. So to me, Backblaze is a no-brainer. It's really, really cheap, and the other thing about it is it's unlimited. You can upload as much as you like. They're not limiting you. They don't charge you per gig or per terabyte or whatever. You can upload as much as you like. So really, for that price, it's an absolute steal. By the way, I'm not endorsed and I do not work for Backblaze. So that's how I have everything backed up on my system. It's also worth mentioning that I have an additional time machine backup, which is just backing up the system drive. And that takes a snapshot of my system at the end of every day. It just means that I can be up and running right away and I can meet any deadlines that are due. And that's it. That's what works for me, but what works for you? Have you got some other software or applications that you use that you find a little bit better? I'm interested to know, so leave comments, or if you have any questions about anything, leave everything below. If you liked the video, hit the like. If you want to hear more, then hit the subscribe and the notification bell and you'll get notified of all upcoming videos. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.